Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. You're here. You're watching my video. Super cool. Today it's just you and me, right? Just you and me and the blog. And I'm going to read my blog to you. And I got pictures and stuff. It's great. This is the three gates of Mercury. The three gates of Mercury. And so I picked a picture here with these three nymphs sacrificing to Mercury. Looks like they're making flower garlands. That's pretty cool, as sacrifices go. So yeah, you can kind of imagine these three nymphs could represent the three gates, right? That's cool. It's art, people. It's art. So be the guardian of your speech is sort of where we're going with this. Hey, welcome back. This is part one of a three-part series where we will discuss some potential guidelines around communication and some of the esoteric ideas around the consequences of ignoring this. As ever, these are just ideas. They're just ideas. You can accept or reject or ponder them as you will, right? I'm not a guru. I'm not a whatever. Just a dude. I'm just some dude with some stuff to say, and take it or leave it. It's fine. It's all good. So, and we're going to start with Jesus, just to really like get you worked up. So we're going to start with Jesus. It is not what enters a man's mouth that defiles him, but what comes out of it. Okay, attributed to Jesus. Likely this reflects his knowledge of the dangers associated with lashon hara, or evil speech, which primarily concerns itself with gossip, but, evil speech, among other things. This quote is found in the Gospel of Matthew, 15:11. Okay. And I can only wish this idea occupied a more prominent place in popular consciousness. So, moving on from Gospel of Matthew, we'll go to the Holy Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, in chapter 17, verse 15. And yeah, if you go to the blog, you can click on that and go to a super cool page with, explanations. They'll sing it to you and everything if you clicky on the linky. So Sri Krishna, in his Song of God, he tells us what characterizes right speech. Arjuna asks him lots of questions and Krishna answers them. Now, I'm not going to even attempt this lovely Sanskrit. Just not going to do it. Sorry. It's just you have to sing it first of all. You don't have to, but this is like a bridge too far. I will screw this up, and who knows what'll happen. So I leave it to you. I gave you a clicky linky in the blog post. But, we also have this groovy little tapestry thing. Maybe it's a rug. Maybe I don't know what it is. But it's, here we got. This is from the Bhagavad Gita, right? Classic. We have the chariot with the, convertible top here because it's classy. Krishna rides classy. Got Hanumanji like hanging out right up here at the top. It's described in the Bhagavad Gita as there's a banner with like a picture of Hanuman on it. But here we got like Hanuman for real. He's there. And he's immortal, so I guess that makes sense. Krishna, right? He's driving the chariot. Krishna drives the chariot. And we have over here, presumably these are the Pandavas. And over here we have the Kauravas and the chariot in between. And of course we have Arjuna having his little freak out meltdown. Just dropped his bow. Best archer in the world. But he dropped his bow because he's freaking out. And he's like, gotta ask Krishna a bunch of stuff. That's, that's the Gita, man. Arjuna's freaking out. He's got to ask a bunch of questions. Krishna gives lots of answers. And, so here's one of the answers, right? Words that do not cause distress are truthful, inoffensive, and beneficial, as well as regular recitation of the Vedic scriptures. These are declared as austerity of speech. Okay? That's what Krishna has to say. from his sweet covered chariot. We need more covered chariots, I think. What were the Romans thinking? This is, you need some shade, brother. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So austerity of speech. What are we talking about? Conscious disciplines is a way to think about, austerities. You got to kind of, don't be automatic. Be mindful, because that's the word that we like to use now. It's mindful. It's mindful, man. I just was at Coachella. It was totally mindful. So these austerities, these conscious disciplines, serve as stellar examples. And Manu, you see there's a clicky linky there too. An atom-like figure. So this is like the first man, person, first human, whatever. Manu says much the same. He says, speak the truth in such a way that it is pleasing to others. Do not speak the truth in a manner injurious to others. Never speak untruth, though it may be pleasant. This is the eternal path of morality and dharma, right? And I gave you a citation here, because that's probably a good idea. I think this is interesting, this piece, right? Though it may be pleasant. I'm still in editing mode, as you can tell. Though it may be pleasant to speak untruth, that's interesting. That's kind of it. What kind of untruths are pleasant? Something to ponder, perhaps. Yeah, over here, I know, this is like off screen. The limitations of editing mode. But yeah, look, for this whole 3 gates of Mercury thing that we're doing, sounds super spooky. Oh my God, so heavy. 3 gates of Mercury. OMG, so magical. I want to proceed in the spirit of like what Manu said, what he said. We're trying to just be cool, right? Can we be cool? Can we speak the truth in such a way that it is pleasing to others, not in a manner injurious to others? Can we chill out, Karen? Can we do that? Yeah, I want to proceed in that spirit. Oh, we have the 3 gates now. And me and my pictures. I love the pictures. This is a gate, and it's just a cool gate. It looks all spiritually, right? It's all kinds of stuff going on. We got the rain, and we got the chick here. She's like grooving on this gate. She's about to go through this first gate of Mercury, as I'm calling it. She probably just got back from, I don't know, Burning Man or Glastonbury. And she's all, she's grooving on her spiritual journey. So, all right, from a Western esoteric, Kabbalistic, Quabbalistic perspective, the esoteric quality of planet Mercury, right? 3 gates of Mercury. The quality of planet Mercury represents energies that we can harness for practical purposes, including travel, right? Mercury is all about travel and those winged feet and his winged helmet. Commerce. Yeah, Mercury is all about some papers, stacking some paper and selling stuff to you or buying. Commerce goes both ways, right? And especially for our purposes, communication, which I'm obviously doing such a fantastic job of today. Properly used, the mercurial energy can assist you greatly in mundane life. Mundane being earthly. Okay, consider the idea. This is an idea. Consider the idea that communication needs to pass through the following 3 gates of Mercury in order to be communicated in a beneficial way. Right? So, this is easy to remember. Is what I'm about to say true, kind, and necessary? That's, we're not doing Vedic scriptures here, although you certainly can do that. But just, we're tighten it up a little bit, do the tighten up on this bad boy and say, can you remember true, kind, and necessary? Probably. So this is a simplified and easy to remember version of the wisdom given to us earlier. All right, today I want to consider the first of these gates. First one, true. Is it true? Now, this alone can become a years-long philosophical journey in its own right. Pursuit of truth. This is a much larger question than it appears to be. Is this true? Clearly, one would not want to lie outright. That's obvious, right? That's the most obvious thing to avoid, but there's more to it. Okay. And here we have, yeah, it's a picture of Mark Twain, or Hal Holbrook, best known to this bunch of folks, this fine bunch of people in the world today, best known as guest appearance on Star Trek: The Next Generation, right?
Ah, Mr. Data, I found your severed head in a cave on the outskirts of town, and it was surrounded by strange creatures.
Whereupon, I'm sure you got a lecture from Worf or something, Counselor Troy, about, communism. Sorry, guys. Sir, I'm not a merry man about that comment. All right, yeah. Mr. Wolf, we shall proceed. All right, so yes, Mark Twain, what did he say? He said, the problem is not what we don't know, it's what we know for sure that just ain't so.
The problem is not what we don't know, it's what we know for sure that just ain't so.
It's attributed to Mark Twain, perhaps erroneously, revealing the dangers of things like dogma, assumptions, logical fallacies, unexamined beliefs, or even delusions. And that's, delusions more prominent than you think, I've come to realize. Such things can be accepted and passed along all too easily. You accept dogmas as you don't maybe realize it's dogmatic, and maybe I'm presenting dogma, and that's fine, right? I'm like, oh man, you're just running your mouth and telling me what to do. You're telling me what to do. Stupid dogma. Assumptions, logical fallacies, unexamined beliefs, delusions, these can be passed along. You can be accepted easily, passed along easily, Tell your friend about whatever. The 5D, or, these ideas. It is wise to challenge the things we believe to be true with reflection and investigation. Just a good idea, kind of do a little double check. And maybe as far as it goes is like, well, Blavatsky said so, or Crowley said so, or Golden Dawn said so. At least you have made some effort to figure out where this is coming from. That's a good start. That's good enough for most, like, as long as it's like, no, this is real. No, this is the thing. I try to go more like, well, the Golden Dawn said this and Crowley said this, and is that useful? Is it whatever? Anyway, we have a chant here, Hindu chant. Asatoma Sadgamaya begins the Hindu chant, lead us from the unreal to the real. That's the first line of that chant. Pretty important. Has other applications, but it's a good start, good place to land. So besides the obvious, what dangers are associated with calling forth anything less than truthful in your communications? What a fancy way to put that. The poison of God. This section starts with the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, as I like to say, in the queen scale colors. You're going to see this tree a lot. I like this tree. I made this tree. I mean, I assembled this tree. I slapped the glyphs of the planets on it for clarity. So, looking at this, if you got your phone in your pocket, I'd do that too. I'm just like, I'm gonna listen to this. Drop my phone in my pocket. Pull your phone out. Take a look. This tree of life, and I want you to pay attention to this one here. This is the Mercury. Okay. Associated with this color orange in this particular system, existing at the bottom of this left side column, the column of severity or judgment. Here it is. So just keep this in mind as we proceed, right? And also try to imagine. So we've got the tree, but there's also like each of these sephirot, these colored balls, has a shadow, right? Jungians, pay attention. Each of these planetary energies, sephirotic thingios, they have a shadow side. So just imagine like a shadow. I didn't draw it on here because, well, Here you can see the Kabbalistic Tree of Life and the Queen Scale colors with the familiar glyphs of the 7 classical planets. Yep, 7. I know. Where's Uranus? Sir, how dare you ask me that? You have offended my honor. Where's Uranus? Where's your anus? 7, yes, 7 planets. Not pictured, but to be imagined are the shadows of each Sephiroth, Jungians. The Sephirah Hode. Call it Hode. Here it is again. Hode. Right? Colored orange at the bottom of the left column of severity is associated with the planet Mercury on the tree. That's why I helpfully put the symbol on it. And its corresponding klipa shell or husk, right? Klipa. The uncontrolled and extreme shadow side of a Sephirah. This klipa is known to the Golden Dawn as Samael, a fearsome and powerful energy. Ooh, super scary. The Stella Matutina Golden Dawn. This is, if you got the black brick, that's what you're doing. You're doing Stella Matutina. The Stella Matutina Golden Dawn unequivocally calls Samael the liar and poison of God. And as such, Samael represents a force of deception, falsehood, and illusion. The dangers of intellectual pride. Intellectual pride. And that's an important point, because there's other prides floating around on that tree. Intellectual pride, manipulation, and deceit. Shadow aspects of Hode, Mercury's power of intellect and communication. It is not to be taken lightly. Even though I'm a goofball, and I am a goofball. And frankly, I'd rather be a goofball than just about anything else. Because I can be really, trust me, you want me to be a goofball, you don't want me to be the other things I can be. Pretty grim. All right, playing with fire. Oh, speaking of grim, look at this. This is some pre-Raphaelite looking stuff here. I like it. I'm a pre-Raphaelite fan. Here we have, is this Samael? Maybe. He's looking kind of Angel of Deathy here. And this person may not really love the embrace that's about to happen here with this particular angel. Okay. Now, here we go. Here's where I offend like half of you or more. Here we go. Ready? I love it. Yeah, it's great. Here we go. It is heavily hinted in many worthwhile esoteric traditions that all of these energies. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up to the Tree of Life. There you go. If you got your phone in your pocket, you can't see it. Right? All of these energies. A lot of energies here. Got 10 Sephiroth, 10 and not 9. We got 22 paths, right? Representing all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff on this tree. So, it's heavily hinted in many worthwhile esoteric traditions that all of these energies, the various Sephiroth, the paths on the Tree of Life, the planets, the zodiac, yes, I said it, the elements, basically everything, including the Klipot, and yes, even the greatly feared Hasatan. Oh no, the devil. These are intelligences and energies that are resident inside you from day one of your life. Like, this is like preloaded. This is bloatware. Sorry. These are resident inside you from day one. The good and the bad. You got it all, man. You come complete. So you can think of this as like ancient internal family systems, if you're familiar with that, or parts therapy. And of course, if you're not, I have provided clicky linkies, including for Hasatan, if you really want to, deal with that one. So, this is ancient internal family systems or parts therapy, and really it is Jungian down to its bones. Carl Jung would really, dig this, I think. So, yes, I operate from the presupposition that this is indeed true. Right? And in order to develop spiritually, we must become conscious of and reconcile all of these various pieces of ourselves. Masons, if you're out there, think about that checkerboard floor. White squares, black squares. What is the temple after all? But a representation of you. All right, we can eventually operate as the conscious master of all that which is resident within ourselves and take steps beyond even this. We'll leave that one for later. I think the Golden Dawn is especially good at giving us lists of these internal ingredients, which is part of the reason I like them so much. Okay. So by this particular esoteric reckoning, when you engage in deception, you are operating within and, in a sense, energetically feeding your internal energies of Samael, or Samak Mem. If you just can't say Samael, I understand. You say Samak Mem, just use the Hebrew letters there without the vowels. What vowels? So Samael, Samak Mem, characterized as an actual literal biblical angel of death. And yes, there's a linky for that. If nothing else, this lack of control, because remember, these gates are austerities, right? They're conscious disciplines. This lack of control on your part, engaging in deception, this can rapidly zero out your reputation. It can carry with it an ongoing internal discomfort, right? Because you know you're not doing right. And it could easily ruin your life. And who wants that? Do you want that? I don't want that. Nah. Practical considerations, people. Practical. Think about it. Okay, so here, yes, picture here. Pictured is some stooping person with a light in a cave. It's pretty dark in there. So we're going to shine some light, right? We're shining the light of consciousness on these dark places. Very important to do. Not pleasant in any way, but it'll make you a better person, pretty sure. So from my particular esoteric perspective, if you realize that you find yourself routinely lying or deceiving people or yourself, you can deceive yourself. I think we do it a lot. I think it's kind of routine. If you realize you find yourself routinely lying or deceiving people or yourself in greater or lesser ways, you have placed the light of consciousness upon one of your internal shadow intelligences. So here we are, grooving through the cave with the light, checking it out. So this internal shadow intelligence that you've discovered, you'll want to address that within your esoteric work or by other means. You could take that to therapy or, I don't know, AA or CODA or a trusted spiritual leader or a psychotherapist or a trusted friend even, like I gotta, help me deal with this. Whichever way you want to view it, you would want to do some integrative work to resolve this, because it's a part of you and you've disavowed it. I'm not a liar. You're a liar. Project that one out or hide it from yourself. And when you do that, the stuff you hide from yourself tends to run wild in the background, so integrating that part of you, realizing you have the capability of not telling the truth. Say, yeah, okay, I'm aware of that. That's good work. Good job. Good job. So in short, this is not a short article. In short, if what you want to communicate is not true, simply do not let it pass through this vital first gate of Mercury. So that's the idea of the gates, right? So imagine you got 3 gates. First one is like, is it true? And the next one is it kind? And then the next one is it necessary? And if it can make it through all the gates, then you can, say it. It's just an idea. Again, just an idea. And mainly something I thought was useful for me. Something I try to do. And yeah, I screw it up all the time. Trust me. So in summary, we have Brahma here. Look, picture of Brahma. He's grooving. He's got 4 faces. He's got flower, and maybe it's probably not his light bill, but or a dollar. Probably not. I think that is some sort of scribal instrument, like a pen, and then is that an empty hand or is he holding something? I don't know. But he's grooving. He's chilling. It's a groovy seat he's got there. I'll tell you that. I guess if I was a god, I would have cool stuff too. as a useful, if challenging discipline, take a pause. I love that. Take a pause and make sure that whatever you may say is indeed truthful. This is a crucial primary step in mindful communication. Remember, mindfulness. And this sidesteps a number of hazards, including potential damage to oneself. And we talked about that, like you don't feel so good about it, or you screwing up your reputation, or you might get in trouble, something like that. So if this means, if you're being conscious about your speech, you're really kind of, should I say that? If this means you end up speaking less, all the better, really. Or so implies the fourth power of the Sphinx, right? Silence. Silence. Additionally, I want to stress, this is important. This particular austerity of speech, okay, is a discipline for you alone to practice, not to impose on others. Now, you might be saying, but Friar, you're telling me what to do. You're just telling me what to do. These are just ideas, man. Ideas that were helpful for me. You do what you want. You know that. You do what you want. This is just, if you're interested in my ideas about stuff, then, here you are. This is good internal practice stuff for you to do, but don't impose it on, and I'm not imposing it on you. I'm just like, here's an idea, take it or leave it. So it really is. It's about your development. It's about your ability to control yourself. Many a well-meaning person has succumbed to the siren's song of correcting misinformation. Oh, I'm just correcting misinformation. Oh no, I'm exposing the truth. I'm exposing the truth. When their time would be better spent working on their own transformation, not acting as the thought police, or worse, unwitting agents of censorship and oppression operations, which, I hate to say it, they're real. And there's a lot of useful idiots out there. Yes, that's a term. That's a real term. Do you want to be a useful idiot? I don't. Now, some people might say, oh, you're part of the Illuminati. you, whatever. No, really not. This is not an op. This is not a psyop. This is just me saying, like, hey, think about what you're saying. Maybe run it through some tests. Like, is this a good idea to say? So, all right. What do you think of all this? All this. Have you found that being too loose with the truth did not serve you well? Do you think deception is a good idea in some cases? Oh, spycraft. Have you suffered the consequences of succumbing to the temptation to lie? Or is there anything else you want to say? Let me know in the comments. We love comments, both on the blog and on the YouTubes, right? For the algo. Give me some algo juice. I'm thirsty for the algo juice. Thank you for your time and attention, and have a delightful rest of your day with the Friar Prezel logo. Yeah, I'm not going to plug my services, but there's probably a link in the description just to go to the site. You can find this article and many more that have not had videos made out of them, but they will, because that's how I'm doing it. You can check it out. I guess just to add this, not make it like super preachy, like I'm standing up here in the pulpit telling you what to do, wagging my finger at you in my whatever garb. I think the piece of this that I discovered for myself that I just didn't love was I was too quick to accept ideas that I liked, like, oh, I like that idea. And then I would pass that idea along to people. And I was like, wait, hang on. I'm not even sure that's true. I just like it. I just like this idea. Is it even true? And so part of the reason that you see me giving a lot of citations, which is a pain in the ass, frankly, is just because there are still ideas that grab me and I'm like, oh, I like that idea. And then it's like, well, is it really true? Again, I can just say, well, this is an idea that came from here and I like it. Is it the ultimate truth? I don't know, but take it up. You can take it up with whoever this came from, right? If this came from Israel Regardie, okay, or Krishna, or Adi Shankaracharya, or even occasionally Uncle Al, right, or whoever, at least you know where it came from, and then you can determine, like, well, do I think Madame Blavatsky really had it going on? Do I kind of buy her shtick, and do I want to accept what she has to say? Or whoever, Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, any of them. You can, I just want you to know, I do try to tell you where this stuff came from so that you can make that determination at least. And chances are, well, I mean, obviously, chances are if I'm saying it, if I'm like, I'm saying words here that I like, I probably like it, I'm probably not going to throw out a bunch of stuff that I just personally disagree with tremendously. But yeah, that was my thing, was just stuff that I heard that I thought was groovy, like, oh yeah, man. And then I would just say it like it was true. It's like, wait a minute, hang on. So that's why you get clicky linkies and all that groovy stuff. That's probably my worst. And I know that some people are like, oh, lying by omission. And I'm not entirely sure about that concept, because I do value the idea that you can keep your freaking mouth shut about stuff. You really can. You have the right to remain silent. It's actually in our crummy law. Believe it or not, our horrible law gives you the right to remain silent. That should tell you something. And that is something I believe in. And maybe it's unfounded or whatever. I do like the fourth power of the Sphinx. All right. Groovy. But yeah, if you're a lies by omission person, and it's like, okay, then I guess I'm a big fat liar, because there's a lot I just don't say because I don't find it necessary. And I also enjoy my silence. I really do. That's, anyway. So yeah, just kind of accepting and passing along beliefs and ideas that I like, and then, my tendency to keep my mouth shut. If those are terrible things, then so be it. But I think I've worked on the first one pretty good. Anywho, yeah, I don't know how long this video is. I'll find out when I turn up the volume on it, because I have to do that now. At least that does work. So look, thanks for watching this super crazy video about making sure what you say is true, and all the contents therein, and all my goofiness. So I will wrap this up and say thank you, and I will see you next time. Have a super duper day. I hope it's really good to you. Okay, bye.